Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Minahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com. Hey now, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called Road to Infamy, and it's from designers Jeff Chin and Andrew Nerger. Now, if you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. I'll have a link at the bottom of your screen now and at the end of the video, and also down in the description section of the video. That's going to take you to the official Kickstarter page. You can find out more information than I could possibly tell you here, and hopefully you'll consider backing the project. Now, Road to Infamy is a competitive game where each player takes control of a rival gang who is trying to take over the whole city. You're going to do this by gaining control of the contraband flowing around the city. This represents infamy points, which you might specialize in one particular type of, which you're going to use to win the game. To do this, to gain this contraband in the most efficient way possible, you're going to have to use your money and power to influence different famous gangsters and contraband that you can pick up from other gangs, and also cops who, of course, are going to be on the take at some point and who will help you manipulate the contraband flowing to your rivals. Let me go ahead and give you a brief look at how the game is played with a prototype version of the game, so it may look different when you get the final version. Then we're going to come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, let me give you a brief overview of Road to Infamy. This is a competitive game for up to 4 players. The goal of the game is to have the most infamy points, victory points, at the end of the game. You're going to get infamy points from the contraband that you collect. Now, at the start of the game, each player is going to start off with one of each type of contraband that they're going to put in the applicable spaces on their gang card. This is an example of one of the gang cards. This is the Hackers. Now, there's guns, jewels, chemicals, and credit cards, but you'll notice that one of these spaces has a ×2 pointing towards it. For the Hackers, it's a credit card, whereas for the bandits, it's jewels. For the rebels, it's guns, and for the cartel, it is the chemicals. What that means is that while the normal tokens for your gang, in this case for the Hackers, the jewels, the guns, and the chemicals, are going to be worth 1 infamy point at the end of the game, the one that has the ×2 next to it will, of course, be worth 2 points for you. So you want to focus on getting that type of contraband exclusively. Well, not exclusively, but you want to focus on that one. If you get the other ones, great, but you want to get the ×2 as much as you can. Now, for the rest of the setup, each player is going to get 6 bid cards shuffled randomly from the bid deck. Then the rest of the bid cards will go here with the discard pile there. Here are spots for the gangsters, the cop, and for contraband. Now, the rest of the contraband that does not go onto the player's boards at the beginning are going to go into this black bag randomized. So at the beginning of the game and after every round of play, you're going to put 2 random tokens out there for the contraband. This is the cop marker, and this is going to float around in the center for now, but after the first turn of the game, we'll get more into that, but you're going to be able to move this to a different contraband token there if you win influence over the cop. And then the gangsters are other famous gang people in the area that you're going to try to win influence over and have them join your gang. So first and foremost, let me show you some of the bid cards, just to give you an idea of what we're working with here. Because what you're trying to do with these bid cards is win influence over these 2 different areas to get just some extra contraband, to get influence over the cop, to get influence over some famous gangsters. So you'll have these bid cards. You'll start off with 6 of them. First off, there are different colored bid cards that are just different types of money. This is like the basic thing that you're going to be bidding with, and they're color coordinated. So when you get to the bidding section of the game, whatever cards that you choose to bid with, you are going to put them in the appropriate spot on the board, indicating that, like, for instance, red cards go for the gangsters, green cards go for the contraband, and the blue cards are going to go for the cops. That's what those mean. So you have these normal, quote-unquote, money cards of different denominations. Then you're going to have special ability cards, again, pertaining to to each of the different types that you're trying to influence. So for the Getaway card, if you were to play this, it says the cop will not take your contraband this hand. If you were to take the mug, or if you were to play the mug, it says take a contraband token from one opponent that played a green bid this turn. Assassinate, discard a gangster from one opponent that played a red bid this turn. Sabotage, discard all blue 3, 4s, and 5 bids played this turn. Gamble, draw a bid from the deck. If it is a 3, 4, or 5, play it. Otherwise, discard it. Bust, all gangster bids totaling 8 or more are disqualified. And that includes you. And Deceive, if you have any 3, 4, or 5 bids in play, move them to your gangster bid. Let me also show you some of the gangster cards. So you have the Mob Boss, so it gives you +1 infamy point for each of your gangsters. Crime Lord, +3 infamy points if you have 4 of the same contraband type. The Brawler always wins brawls, ties, which I'll get to in a moment. Then you have the Informant and the Dealer, +2 to your total cop bid. Keep this on your blue bid space. Or +2 to your total contraband bid. Keep this on your green bid space. There's different types of cards. I just want to show you a few of them. Oh, and also, just like there are 2 random contraband tokens that will start off here, you are going to flip up the top card of the gangster deck, and that's what you guys will be vying for each round. So, here's how the turn order is going to work, or I should say how the rounds are going to work. First, you'll prepare the deck or prepare the board with the contraband and the gangster, just like I described. Then you have a chance to launder. Each player can optionally discard one of their bid cards from their hand and draw another one from the deck, and this way you can get rid of your weak cards and potentially get a better one. Then you bid. Every player is going to simultaneously choose one of their bid cards and put it down onto their gain card. And then you're going to do it again and then again so that you will have 3 bid cards that you've just selected. Once everyone has had a chance to do this 3 times, then players are going to simultaneously flip over their cards, and they're going to put their bids in the appropriate spot. So then what's going to happen is every player is going to look at all the cards that they bid. Just for this example, I'll kind of make believe that there's a lot of cards from other players around here. But you'll add up all of the totals for each of the different types of bids, starting with cop, then contraband, then the gangster. So for instance, if the cop, whoever has played the highest total value for the bid for the cop is going to have control and basically be protected for the first part of its effect. Now I happen to play a Sabotage here, which says discard all blue 3, 4s, and 5 bids played this turn, so it's much more likely that this card will win. So in this particular case, the first thing the cop does is, which won't actually happen in the first turn because the cop is neutral, but let's say that from a previous turn it was already on guns. You would be safe if you won the bid, but everyone else would have to lose a contraband token of that type. The other thing that the winning bidder gets to do is set what the contraband token of choice for the cop is going to be next turn. So if you see that a rival is primed to collect a lot of the chemical tokens, or gets double points from them and already has a lot of them, you might go ahead and set this over to chemicals in order to try and screw them over as best as possible. Now, whoever wins the contraband, which is the next thing you're going to check, is simply going to take the 2 contraband tokens from the board and put them onto their board. And then for the gangster, very simply, whatever the top gangster is on the top of the deck, if you win the bid for it, you're going to get to take it, put it next to your gangster card, or your gain card, and then starting with the next round, you are going to gain its special ability. Now, you might be asking, what happens if there is a tie? Well, that's where these Brawl cards come into play. These cards have numbers from 1 to 4. You're going to shuffle these up, put them down, and these will basically be a tiebreaker. Whoever is involved in the tie is going to flip a card. Whoever has the higher number is going to be the winner. So if it was me and the other player, boom, I would automatically win. I drew the 4. So that's that. It's just a simple random way to determine who is going to break these ties. And actually, let me just clarify one thing about the bidding. When everyone is choosing their bid cards at the first, they're going to you'll choose your bid card, and then everyone simultaneously flips it up and puts it in the appropriate spot. If it has a special effect, then they'll resolve it. Then when you've done that 3 times, then everyone's going to add up their totals and go through and see who wins the bidding. So you will do the cards one at a time, resolving special abilities, then go back and determine who wins the total bid for each type. Once the round is over, all of the cards that have been bid get discarded. You keep whatever cards you had left in your hand. Then each player gets to draw 3 more bids from the deck. and you keep going until the gangster pile runs out. When the gangster pile runs out, the game is over, and whoever has the most infamy points from adding up your tokens, remember 1 for each of your normal ones, 2 if it's your special type, whoever has the most infamy points is going to be the winner of the game. That is Road to Infamy. Let's get to my final thoughts. Road to Infamy has a theme that's hot right now in both video games and tabletop board games, and that's being a gangster, being the bad guy, and being good at what you do. And this game focuses more on the whole influencing aspect. It's not just, a violent game where you're just doing sort of the down, dirty, nitty-gritty things that a gangster might have to do. In this case, it's actually using your power, wealth, and influence as a gang leader to actually take control of the city, which is a theme I think that's going to appeal to a lot of people. And what this game does is take that theme, add it together with artwork that really fits the mood of the game. It's not too dark, it's not too bright, but it is high quality, serious artwork for that type of theme. But it marries those things together, and then also together with the mechanisms of the game, where you have this bidding war. It's like an auction game where you're trying to go for these different areas of influence in the city. The cops, the contrabands, the gangsters, and not only trying to outbid your rivals for these, but perhaps use your special abilities of certain cards to their best effect. And also the gangsters as well, which is an interesting mechanism in the game, because not only is it a gauge of how much time is left in the game, but also they give you special abilities, which depending on the type of ability may be very, very beneficial to you at the right time. So you definitely want to gain control of those as soon as you can, while at the same time, what you really need to be focusing on, the core of the game and how you're going to win, are those infamy points gained from the contraband, and your type of contraband in particular. That's your Achilles heel, though, because other players may be trying to go for that to keep you from getting it as much as possible, either by gaining control of the cop and hitting you with him, and so to speak, or just making sure that they can lock down contrabands of your type when it's out on the board, because that's just going to be the best way to keep you under control. So there's a lot of back and forth. You're constantly trying to stay on your toes to meet your win condition of having the most points possible, while at the same time keeping your opponents in check, all the while knowing that you're constantly digging through that gangster pile round by round, and eventually time is going to run out, and you need to have the most points at that point. So there's an interesting theme to be had here for people who are into that, and also with the graphic design and with the mechanisms of the game, all these different things fitting together. If you know someone who's into bidding games, who wants a light game with a strategic bent to it, a game that's easy to learn but still has strategy and complexity and tactical thinking throughout it, and of course with that gangster theme, then you definitely want to check out Road to Infamy. It's on Kickstarter right now. I'll have a link at the bottom of the screen and also down in the description section of the video. Don't take my word for it. Go to the Road to Infamy official page, find out more information, and hopefully consider backing the project. That is Road to Infamy from designers Jeff Chin and Andrew Nerger. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.